seeing my mom work so hard, I learned that it is possible for somebody to work diligently and be able to manage issues in life. By the time I was in third year, I was the snappist of choice. Subsequently, I paid my own fees at the university.
As a snappist?
As a snappist.
Brookhill Academy, the beautiful school that you managed to set up.
Yes.
How did you go about doing that?
So I thought of all the reasons why I should operate a school. I realized that I have passion for children. This would be a good opportunity for me to add value.
Good evening and welcome to the Late Night Business. My name is Ian Dennis, and tonight we have a very, very interesting episode lined up, as we're going to be addressing so many different particular aspects of business with the guest that I have tonight. A guest who's very, in the normal Nairobi era, you say you always want to do so many things. He's managed to do that. He's not only in the corporate world, but he's also running a very, very successful business, which is a school that is doing quite well, and we're going to be addressing that just in a few. But before I get to introduce my guest, I'd like to let you know that you're here at the Capital Club, the place you need to be as an entrepreneur. One thing in the world of entrepreneurship, we say that your network is your net worth, and through the Capital Club, you have a rich network that you can actually have access to. The guest that I have tonight is Coleman Otage, who's the founder of Brookhill Academy, and he's done quite well for himself, and I'm also a board member of the school coincidentally, so it's a conflict of interest, but a very good interest. But nice to see you, Coleman, and thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks so much for making it here. I know you have had a small mishap.
Yeah.
But you're all good.
I'm good.
Ah, fantastic.
Yes.
The first question that I like starting every particular episode that I host, what exactly are you most grateful for today?
I'm most grateful for the gift of life, for the gift of good health. I thank God that He's heard and answered most of my prayers that I've had since I was a young man. I'm happy about where I am in life.
Interesting.
Right now.
What would you say are some of the prayers that have been answered?
Well, I grew up in this very humble background, very needy, just like many people. And so as a young man, I had dreams. I used to have real dreams. I sleep, and when I was in class 4 or 5, we have slept without food. And I'm dreaming, I'm flying over the Alps, you know, because we used to learn in geography. Those Alps, those mountains, the mountainous areas, and the snow down there. And so those are some of the dreams and desires that I had. From a young age, I was desiring one day, I'll be financially independent. I'll be able to overcome the hustle and bustle of life, very needy life situations. And God has been gracious to me.
Interesting.
At the right age, been able to go through school, start working, and of course challenges just like any other person. And then at the right time, I conceived ideas. I tried implementing them. They couldn't work. I didn't give up. I knew one time I would get hold of one that will work. And I'm grateful to God.
And you managed to get level.
I managed to get one that eventually worked.
And the interesting thing, I think, is in my favorite verse in the Bible, like Ecclesiastes. I don't remember where exactly, but do 7 or 8 things. You do not know which one is going to work.
Correct.
I think I stick to that. Try as many things.
I think these were more than 7 or 8.
But you've touched onto your earlier life growing up in abject poverty. Maybe you can just paint a picture for us, because I think you're in a world whereby I think this particular new generation, you just see things as they are. But paint for us a picture of how exactly your upbringing was.
And of course, many people can also see you here driving a car, living here, doing this and that. And they imagine you just started like that. But I was born in Mombasa. I grew up in an estate called Asian Quarters, and then I went to an estate called Manyimbo Estate, Kenya Railways, near Mombasa Baptist.
So Kiswahili chako ni kizuri.
Kiswahili changu kiko sawa. Si haba. Na wenga walisema utamu wa lugha ni kuongea. Lakini leo tunaongea Kiingereza, Kimombo. Mungu anatumia fizi yangu vizuri.
Hakuna refund.
Yeah, so I grew up in that environment, Asian Quarters, Kenya Railways, Manyimbo Estate, one room, sitting room, small bedroom for dad and mom. All of us 5 in our families were sleeping on the floor. We had only one sister. She's sleeping on a makeshift couch. Yeah, she was a bit privileged, but all of us were sleeping on the floor.
So it was a single room?
Well, not
Or
single
a
room.
bed, one
two
bedroom? Two rooms.
Two rooms, small rooms. Yeah, bedroom, sitting room. So that's how.
Then the washrooms ziko nje.
Washrooms go in there. Of course, not shared. Every unit has its own, small toilet, small bathroom. But that's how we grew up. And I've had the privilege of taking my family right now when we go for holiday in Mombasa. We have passed by where we used to live for me to show them where I came from. And every time I pass there, I have gratitude to God for all that God is able to do.
That's
so
very
God who has done it for me can do it for
anybody else.
Anybody else. So that was my background. Of course, Dad
what were your parents? What were your parents doing?
My dad was working for Kenya Railways. It's a low, not low, hapo katikati, one of those middle grades. Meager earnings, and we were basically on the lower end of life. There are privileges like people normally have birthday parties. No, those ones were strange things. We used to see on TV. Ya jirani sio yetu because we didn't have
Great
TV.
Walls.
The Great Walls ya jirani sio yetu because we didn't have TV in the house. We didn't even have a music system. It's until our firstborn started working for Posta, then started having some income. He got a radio, so at least you know tulikuwa tunasikia nao habari.
Interesting. And what was mom doing?
Mom was small scale business person. She used to sell fish, omena, mbuta.
So she used to, in Mombasa. So she used to building from Lake Victoria.
Majengo sokoni. No, she didn't have that privilege. Walikuwa wanaleta, wana supply, they take na deni, and then anachukua anauza. She has to refund. I remember several times she used to ask me to go visit her in the market, Majengo Sokoni. Yes, near Masjid Mosque. It's a popular market. So I will go there, and then she gets me something to go and prepare for supper. I was in the middle in our family. We were 5. Our firstborn was fairly older, my sister, and then me, and then 2 other young ones. So I was always in the middle hapo. Of course, I was a good boy also, very obedient. So mama akiniambia niende naenda, nipatia kamongo kidogo ama omena kidogo. Come we prepare. We have meal for the family. So that's how we grew up. So she used to struggle. Several times I would go to the market and I would hear stories, some people coming to kuitisha deni. She took a stock of fish, she has not been able to pay, and I see mom is in a desperate situation. One day, I told mom on a Saturday, I think I was in class 7, don't worry mom, one day, one time, I will make it in life, and I will make life bearable for you.
Interesting.
Yes.
And it's very interesting that as children, you can always get to observe what is going on within the family.
Oh yes, I was able to observe. I felt sorry for my mom. Those are some of the motivations that make me to work extra hard and diligent, and to learn the ways of success as I grow up, so that I escape the chain of poverty.
Interesting. And having observed, or maybe being entangled in the chain of poverty growing up, what exactly were some of the aspects that you observed that you wanted to escape out of?
This is real poverty. Like I'm telling you, several times, my dad also, apart from being a low-income earner for Kenya Railways, he also had a problem of alcoholism. So even the little that he could get at the end of the month, anakuja anafanya shopping kidogo, tunaenda tunanunua bundle moja ya unga, Kimbo 2 kg, sukari kilo 2, and then hiyo anapatia mama kidogo, hiyo ingine imebaki anakunywa. So it's mom who really had to work so hard. So this means several times in a month we would go without food. But mom will try her level best to get something, hata kama ni kidogo aje.
And
so,
what are the lessons that you garnered from this particular observation of dad and how mom was going about it?
I learned quite a number of lessons from the time I was a young person. I hated alcohol. I said, well, if there is any fame for somebody, kama kuna sifa ya kunywa pombe, I will lean on my dad's sifa because she was like a coach, a Premier League coach. He did enough. He did enough for me. Even December pombe, nini, wine, what. Even now, that's not my kind of thing because I lost it from the time I was a kid. seeing my mom work so hard also had the other positive side of it. I learned that it is possible for somebody to work diligently and be able to manage issues in life. So yeah, those are some of the lessons that I learned when I was growing up. I don't take things for granted. Yeah, several times as I grow up, some people might imagine I'm mean. I'm not mean. I'm just a good financial manager.
You had seen what happens when you don't manage it quite well.
Yes, I've seen what happens when you don't manage it quite well. So I've been able to manage my life in such a way that I'm not normally in need. I'm able to manage my things. I don't have to go and borrow. Yeah, when we were growing up, even getting school fees was a challenge. I remember I worked so hard. I was to go to secondary school. I got an enrollment to go to Shimolatewa. That time Shimolatewa was one of the top schools, and I was very happy to have gone to Shimolatewa. But there was no fees. And then my dad is just at home. He can't do anything. It's my mom who is struggling up and down. And then the deadline is approaching. I don't know whether I'm going to secondary school or not. But I was determined. You know what happened? I just decided I'm going to see Sharif Nasir. Sharif Nasir that time was the MP from Vita. And I used to hear stories he would help people. I went to Sharif Nasir's office and I talked to him face to face like I'm talking to you right now. I told him I was at Fahari Primary School. I've passed very well. I've gotten I'm in enrollment at Shimolatewa. My parents cannot afford to pay fees. I've come to you to help me. So he told me, takusaidia kijana, kinaenda lete baba. Endo ita babako akuje. My father was one of those harsh people. I could even
talk to him.
Even bring up the idea that I went to see Sharif Nasir to help me. So I was just there, just praying, hoping that things will work out. So eventually my mom, I think, went and talked to some Shylock who advanced some loan at a very high interest. I reported to school the last day.
So you couldn't gather the courage to take dad to Sharif Nasir?
I couldn't. My dad was, apart from being, having issues of alcoholism, was also one of those proud Luos. And he was very harsh. I couldn't even bring up the idea. Perhaps maybe I would have just shared with him. Maybe he would have bought the idea. But I was wondering, you will imagine this young boy just from class 8 has been able to go and see Sharif Nasir.
Wow.
I was thinking it was a bit difficult for me to share it with him or even with my mom.
Interesting.
So I just waited because I that evening when I came back home, I had my mom saying, I kept on pestering my mom. Mom, I want to know whether I'm going to school or not. So she was like, we are trying to work out on something. There's somebody who's going to. So later on, I realized, I learned that it was a Shylock.
Wow.
They got a loan. Very high interest.
They always take advantage.
At least half of the fee. So I reported. Normally, when schools are open, you're given a deadline. You report between this date and this date. So I reported the last day. In the evening. And of course, unlike other children who had the privilege of getting good shopping, nowadays I take my children to school. They're all shopping over 100,000. Of course, I am able to pay, but those days I keep on telling them, the day I was going to school myself, my mom couldn't even afford to give me pocket money, leave alone do shopping. So a good neighbor who knew I was a very good boy, gave me soap. Rexona ile kubwa. That's what I carried. I didn't have towel, I didn't have slippers, I didn't have sets of uniform.
Wow.
I bought the cheapest short. It was too tiny. And so I'm giving a description of what real poverty is, but vis-a-vis passion. Yes, I knew this was a good ticket for me to make it in life somehow. I have to get education and then I'll be able to build up on it. But now, the process of getting into this education is now what I'm describing to you. It was not one of those very interesting things. I look back and I'm like, God is always gracious. So neighbor gives me soap, no toothpaste. My brother told me just carry some enough salt. You can always brush your teeth with salt. Salt is good.
I didn't know that. Innovation comes out in difficult times.
I didn't get normal brush mtu anaondoa nayo. So kuna kijiti zile So now that I didn't have towel, my mom gave me one of her lessons. Alienda kafungua sanduku yake, katoa leso akanipatia. So no slippers, no nothing, and then they couldn't even buy for me, you know, shoes, black shoes. So my sister had been in school several years earlier. So kulikuwa na viatu zake zingine ziko tu hapo. I tried fitting them, they were small. So my mom told me that you have to be innovative. So I took them to a fundi. I told the fundi, fungua tu hapa mbele, ongeze some leather so that they can fit me. Come and look at those shoes.
And those are the shoes you only had?
Those are the only shoes I had. So now, where do I carry my things? I see other people going to school, they walikuwa wananunuliwa sanduku ya mabati. In Shule, those days, we used to call it coffin. So, mom didn't have money. I told mom, somehow, I have to carry my things in something. You just get whatever it is. I'd done window shopping for everything. I was very organized. I had a list of items, but there's no money to buy. I told mom, even if you can't afford a normal size coffin, just buy the smallest. It is this much. So she gave me the money, the last that she had. Went and bought a small coffin, put my 1, 2, 3 items in it. Soap that was given to me. I went to school. No pocket money.
Wow. It is such I can try to imagine, like, you really it took so much to get you to school.
It took so much, so much.
How was your mental state when you got to school? What did you want to achieve? What are the aspirations you had?
Okay, let me just briefly say now we get into school. I'm very happy that I've gone to a boarding school.
You went to the smallest shot still?
Of course, smallest shot. The shoes that look like a kangaroo. The cheapest shirt, soft collar. So I get into school. Every mono, you know, is having good shopping and everything. I didn't bother much. I have got an opportunity to come to this school. At the back of my mind, I knew I have to work very hard. But of course, there are those influences. You're in school and everybody's laughing at you. So I remember the following day, I went to the bathroom to go and shower. And I tied myself with a lasso. So some people started making fun of me. Wewe umeoa nini?
Watu wa Mombasa wakuja na leso.
Watu wameoa na wafunga leso. I didn't bother much. And then now come and see. Some guys I used to know in some several estates I was growing up. All of them are Henshim Wanatera. So there's this guy who was with him in Makupa Primary way back before I went to the last primary school. He was like, this guy stole my pen when we were in class 3. I want you to pay my pen today. Anyway, that is the day I got in. And then now they are bullying you. When they bully you, you have to buy your way out. Using your pocket money, you buy bread, and I didn't have even a shilling to buy anybody bread, so I had to bear the brunt of the bullying. Wow. Yeah, I was just there at the mercies of God. So that is how I got in.
Wow.
But the mental state, of course, there was this passion. You know, once you have passion, passion is like fire that is burning. It will overcome every and any obstacle. And I'm happy that I had that passion. So I was able to overcome. I built some threshold velocity to overcome all the barriers and all the challenges as I was getting. In the course of time, I realized that I become normal. Yes.
You fit in.
I fit in perfectly well. I settled down, I started learning. And of course, something else also. Coming from that background, the school I was in was a public school. Then I thought in the school I was amongst the best. Actually, I was top 3. So one day, the first week, I'm in the administration block, and then I go to the signboard. And then I see all the learners, the Form 1s who have reported. Then I realized that my name is amongst the last ones on that list, around 120. So I was, I think, around number 116 or number 114, somewhere there. I say, it's okay, I'm here. So all those learners who are there, the Form 1s, they're coming from good schools. They scored. Those days, we used to do CPE, so it was out of 72 points. I got 59. So I'm competing amongst the best. So the first days I look at them, ninawaogopa, but somehow that passion kept on telling me, hakuna tofauti wako nao na wewe. Mimi na wao ni hapa na hapa. But of course I'm not competing against anybody. I'm competing against myself. Yes.
Interesting.
Right.
So you're a bright student, what's it called? You got into the school despite the challenges that you had, you still faced your way through it, and then you managed to get yourself into university.
Yes.
Yeah. What did you get to study, and how was that particular moment for you?
Okay, secondary school was fairly challenging, but I'm grateful that Shumolateo was one of those good schools. It was a good place for me. most of the virtues, character that I've carried through in life, I got them from Shimolateo. Once the bullying was over, all the Shimo people were brothers. Until today, we are brothers. We are very strong, you know, old boys systems, and it was a good place for me. So I was able to bring out the best out of me. Whilst I was there, the guys who were ahead of us were like good mentors. They used to pass very well, go to the university. So there was already an existing trend. If you are among the top 30, top 40, top 50, you know that you are university material. Yes, so if you are below that, you work very hard to bring you here. So somehow I started seeing myself that I must go to the university, work very hard. So through secondary school, work so hard. I wanted to become a doctor. I desired one day need a doctor, Otage. But somehow I couldn't make it to do medicine. Medicine was my first choice. And then I landed up doing Bachelor of Science, Maths and Physics. But I'm grateful also that I was employed at the University of Nairobi. Yes.
So it's interesting. So you studied in the University of Nairobi and you also ended up getting employed in the University of Nairobi?
Yes, I did my 4 years Bachelor of Science. It was fairly challenging. That's not the course I wanted to do. But I was, those days used to call it dumping. I was dumped in there. But it was a privilege for me to be in a premier university. So I was like, I'll do my first degree and then of course I'll build myself on it. This is a basic degree. So while I was at the university, I started doing CPA on the part-time. I started learning, you know, skills, computer programming, which I developed passion for by the time I was finishing. I did Bachelor of Science, Maths, and double maths and physics.
What?
Yes.
Interesting. And
so yeah.
Interesting. So you did that maths and
double maths.
Why what's double maths?
Double maths is okay, the single maths.
What's the difference?
Choose the units. Maths, you know, you do geography and maybe chem, maths. And something else, geology, geography, or you can choose to do double maths and one other unit. So I chose to do double maths and physics. Yes.
Interesting.
My desire was, that time they had not introduced a course of computer science, but if you did double maths, you would specialize in computer units on your third year and when you're completing in the fourth year. So that was my desire.
Interesting. And going through this particular phase, and just briefly before we go on a break, was that when did your entrepreneurial aspect start coming about? Because just looking at it, you'd grown up in poverty, it's only your mom who had some essence of business acumen. Where did your interest in business start coming about?
Good question. Now, because I was fairly close to my mom, this entrepreneurial push started from the time I was still a young man. I remember, you know, accompanying my mom to the market, sell this, buy this, sell this. I remember when I was 10 years old, we went to the village. I saw that there was grass everywhere. I thought I can make brooms out of this grass. So I started making brooms, taking them to the market. Getting some few shillings. I buy mandazi, come back home. It's very nice to be able to conceive an idea
and
implement it and then get results. That's where it all started.
Interesting.
All right. So
on that particular note, you're going to take a short commercial break and then you'll come back and see how exactly you can sweep through this story. So see you after the break. So welcome back to the show. Before you went on a break, Coleman was just taking us through the interesting journey of just growing up in abject poverty and managing to get himself up to the university. And you're just doing a reflection in terms of your entrepreneurial interest you mentioned earlier on, in terms of how you, as a child, used to see opportunities. You gave out the idea of about making a broom out of grass.
Yes.
What particular other experts do you have around entrepreneurship?
Okay, I did quite a number of things when I was a young boy. In Mombasa, when we were growing up, I remember in class 2, 3, again, almost around that age, 9, 10 years old, I saw that there were some fruits called kunazi.
What's kunazi?
Kunazi is some fruit at the coast. Young kids like taking kunazi, zambarao, and
Oh,
all
zambarao,
that.
yeah, I know it. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
so kunazi is one of them. And then one day I was just doing tembea tu kwa mtaa. I went back karibu na estate called High Level near the port.
Yeah.
And then I saw inside the pot kuna kunazi mingi zinaanguka tu. So I decided one time I'll get inside there, collect them, and then come and sell. So that's what I did also. Someday I went, collected enough of them, came and sold, and nikauza nikapata shilingi one bob that time, but it was 10 cents. 10 cents.
Yeah.
I could change them, zikuwe 25 cents. Naziweka kwa mfuko hivi, the weight was feeling very good. Okay, apart from that, I remember also that time I was in the village, we had cassava on the farm. I was with my mom. I told mom, there's a lot of cassava here. Why don't we just dig them up? I put them in the basket, I can go sell. Went, sold them, got some money. We had so many chicken in the home. I would always suggest to my mom. And because of time, my mom began getting confidence in me that this guy can make money. So time came. Actually, we stayed in the village at some period of time for 2 years because my grandma, the mother to my dad, was unwell. So we went with my mom there. So we were planning to come back. There was no fare. So I suggested to my mom, kuna kuku wengi hapa, we can go sell. So she was like, fine. So I took 15 of them, went sold, got enough money for us to travel from the village back to Mombasa.
Wow, that's very interesting.
So I did quite a number of things. Again, as young people growing up in Mombasa, we look for ways of making money, selling scrap metal.
Oh, you're supposed to
The scrap metal that time was not this general. Kubwa kubwa. There used to be, you know, those days toothpaste. Nowadays it's plastic. It used to be aluminium. So we'd collect those ones, put them in a pack. We go sell them in a place called Baringo Street. That place was Baringo Street, but in the course of time it became Baringo Street, back it became Barigosti. Yes, and then it was shortened Bari. The place is still there until now. I passed there. I don't want to narrate this story to my friends. We laugh. So we used to take Barigosti. You sell those aluminium or copper. You get some money. Then we will go enjoy ourselves on Saturday. Tunaingia Moon Cinema. You watch all round. We used to call it all round. All round movies. You just watch movies. If you have sufficiently more money, you're able to buy some snack and soda, and you feel good. You go back home. But I think these were skills that were coming up gradually as I was growing up, and I think I'm grateful to them. In the course of time, things were a bit tough at home. In Mombasa. So mom was like, the market is not very good with the fish. She's so much in debt. So I suggested we can sell groundnuts and simsim. I see people doing that. So one time we got some money. She went and bought enough kilograms of njugu and simsim. So she helped me to, she taught me how to make. And we made, and I used to sell njugu na simsim after I finished class 8 as I'm waiting to join Form 1. Of course, that time I'm growing up, I'm becoming self-conscious. It was a bit difficult, but yet still I did it for a period of time. So the income we would get from selling njugu and simsim would supplement, you know, feeding in the house, buy milk, bread. So at times ni chai na mkate ndo tumekula supper.
Interesting. And just now, growing up after university, you mentioned you got the job. You're still also within the university, the pension scheme. What are some of, while working, what are some of the exploits you tried? Because I know in Kenya, everybody tries to have side hustles. What are the earlier businesses that you tried?
When I went to school, first of all, in Shimolatewa. Shimolatewa was not far from the beach. So we used to be allowed over the weekend. We go to the beach, Serena, Dolphin, where now there's that big hotel that is being made, Intercontinental, that time was. And then we would buy some T-shirts, you know, from the Wazungus, open shoes. I come back, I sell it to other students. I make some 10 bob, 20 bob that I did when I was in school. Of course, as days progressed, then I stopped doing, I concentrate, I studied. When I went to university, the first year, that was the first time Kenya was having a multi-party election. I was a presiding officer in one of the elections.
Oh, that's 2002.
92.
No, multi-party.
Multi-party came in 202. No, that time 92, the section 2 was repealed.
It was repealed.
Something. But there was an election that time, I participated as a presiding officer. That time I'm a first year in university. I got some money, and then I decided this money, I can't just use it the way other people are using it.
Yeah.
I'm in need, so I have to think of a way of generating. I bought a camera, nice camera called the Ashika. So I went back to campus with it.
With the film?
With the film.
Yeah, I remember back this in the film.
So yeah, there used to be cameramen all over the place. I thought, no, I would not want to have the tag of a cameraman.
Yeah.
I would improvise my own tag for myself. So while at the university, I called myself a snappist. Yes. It was difficult at the beginning, but can you imagine, I took photographs from first year until I finished fourth year. By the time I was in third year, I was a snappist of choice. And what used to happen, previously I used to take just sporadic incidences, you meet people, you take them, stay for long. But now, people are having bashes, functions, then they'll come and call me. So that is what I specialized in. So every weekend, I'm called here, I'm called here, I'm called here, I'm called there.
That's what you sustained yourself?
Sustained me. And my dad was only able to pay my first fees at the University of Nairobi. Subsequently, I paid my own fees at the university.
As a snappist?
As a snappist.
That's very interesting. Yes. You tried quite a lot. Interesting.
Yeah, and interesting.
And before, because early on when you were starting off the conversation, you'd mentioned that you tried so many things before that one thing worked.
Yes.
And that one thing, primarily I can maybe say it out, it's Brookhill Academy, the beautiful school that you managed to set up.
Yes.
When did that thought come about, and how did you go about doing that?
Okay, well, after finishing university, I stayed for a while without doing any business, looking for a job. Life is tough. Staying in Dandora, in a one-roomed house. And then I kept on imagining, what can I do? I tried a few other things, doing supplies. At some point, I got some money. I tried butchery, didn't work. As I continued working, I got a loan. And then I bought a matatu. I thought, hii matatu itafanya nini? Boy! Wakati wa Michuki rules, actually bought my matatu that particular time. KTN 364V. Yes, nilijua hapa.
Which route?
Tao Savannah. Yes, Savo, occasionally naenda Emba. That time I used to live in Tena. But of course, that was not my kind of business. It was a bit frustrating. Nikaachana nayo. So for a period of time, I thought, now I'm getting more knowledge, I'm reading books, I'm learning that business is not just business. It's not just about making money. Yeah, many people get into business because they want to make money, but it has to be tied to a number of things, your purpose and passion. And then of course, you must have thought of an idea that would add value to society. So I decided I'll not do any business. I want to learn, read books. So I got into books, I bought books, I read, I was listening to people who have made it in business, because at least I wanted to make a decision, get hold of this one thing that I will not back off. And that's what happened. For a number of times, I thought, I listed a number of ideas. I want to do this, I want to do this. In the course of time, I imported cars. I did car business, which I still do to date. I import cars for people. I import cars for myself. Been able to import over 20 cars since I started doing that. But that's really not what I wanted to do. So in the course of time, as I was thinking, planning, praying, this idea of a school got to me. And it came to me so strongly. And I made up my mind, I'm going to start a school. So I thought of all the reasons why I should operate a school. I realized that I have passion for children, I have passion for children development. I would like to see children growing, becoming different people. I went through difficulties when I was growing up, but knowledge has brought me this far. I would like to see that happening to many other people. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to add value. And so that is how I conceived the idea of school. So I knew it would take time for the idea to be concretized. It actually did time. I started by preparing a business plan. I went to a number of people operating schools just to learn from them. Why did you start school? And how has it been? So I got, of course, enough feedback. Some people are just starting it for the sake of business, but some people had passion for it. That's what I really wanted. I got some teachers who are experienced to help me do a business plan. I started building on the business plan for about 2-3 years before I started the school.
Interesting. When you started off the school, I know, what's it called? You started off with various partners
Yes.
who will not be able to persevere.
Yeah.
How were the initial years like, and how did you manage to go through it? Because starting off school, we presume there's already fixed cost. You have to pay rent, you have to pay the teachers,
Yeah.
you have to pay for food, but there's no guaranteed income that the students are going to come.
So what happened is after conceiving the idea of a business, I had a very concrete business plan. Starting it was a bit difficult because I didn't have cash flow, I couldn't get financing.
Yeah.
So at the place of work, my colleagues, we had formed an investment club. I shared the idea with them. They thought this idea was good because it was well worked out. Yes, an idea that is well worked out always has a way of attracting capital to it.
Yeah.
And so I sold the idea. Within 10 minutes, they bought into the idea. And then we started off. We had already located even a place where the school was supposed to start. Only that I didn't have the money, but I'd done everything. So we drew money, 250,000. Went paid rent. We started recruiting staff, and we prepared for a day of starting, launching. We started. So, of course, the beginning was not that easy. After doing marketing, open day, praying, fasting, planning,
The heavens are not
launching.
opening.
Day one, when school is supposed to start, we've already got the place furnished, with furniture, furnishings, everything. And then I've gone with my third born son, so he's the only student there. Some two parents have come independently. They are saying that they cannot pay fees, should just take their children and educate them free. So I'm like, now what is all this? Very difficult decision for me that day. So day 2, day 3, no learners are coming. So we decided, me and my colleagues, we just take those children so that there are numbers there, so that whoever is coming to make inquiries will see that there's a school going on. That is how we started. Year 1, we finished with 9 learners. Year 2, 14 learners came. That was nice. So they are about 23, 25. Ended year 2 with around 27, 28. Now year 3, we closed year 3 with about 37 learners. We were not breaking the 40 learners ceiling. This is year 3. And you see, we are putting in money, rent, we are paying 25,000 every month.
You're still in 40 years in the wilderness.
Yes, below 40 years. And so, okay, we were giving up. It was difficult because we keep on putting money. Several, of course, the money generated from, revenue generated from the fees is not sufficient to run the business.
How are you sustaining it?
We keep on going back to our pockets. Our contribution to the investment club is what is sustaining. Yeah, so got to a point I was like, wow, was this quite a good idea? Or is it the locality? Then what do we do? And my colleagues are giving up. I was also giving up myself. I thought maybe this might not work. So somebody someday just passed by there, look at the school. He said, my wife is a teacher and has been looking to start a school. Can you sell this school to us? Then how much? He was mentioning some pittance. I was like, no, we can't sell this school. From the time we started until now, we've spent sufficient amount of money. I shared with my colleagues, and they were like, no. So somebody else came again to make an offer. And then now we were discussing with my wife. My wife was like, no, why don't we just
sell it?
Take up the school and just persevere. So I thought of it, and then I went back, shared with my colleagues, and they were like, no, if you want to continue, it's fine. So we settled on an amount of money. They said, this far that we've come, much as the business is not making profit, I should pay 600,000. Then I looked at it, I was like, okay, I will absorb it. This was originally an idea that I had. Let me give it a second shot. So they gave me time 6 months. To settle the amount, which I did graciously by the grace of God. And then I moved from where we were. I'd built my house in Tasia 2 Estate, 4-bedroom mansionette. I made a decision, very difficult decision. Let me move from here because the surrounding areas is no longer controlled. People are putting up flats. So if I move this, maybe transfer the school here, it could grow. Because that area was had
Scaling
more
up, yeah.
people, the population was higher. That was a good decision.
Interesting.
Yes.
And it was,
so
looking it back, it was a sacrifice because you had to persevere through it.
it was
go
a
back to
real
your
sacrifice.
Pocket. You moved out of your house.
It was a serious risk.
Yeah.
And of course, we could move with the 38 learners. The ones who came were 25.
Yeah.
And they came basically because I gave an offer. I told all the previous parents, we are relocating. Everybody who is coming with us, I will give you an opportunity to pay half fees, 50%.
And here you're not, the business is not also sustainable?
Of course, not yet. It was an aspect of faith. But you know, faith without works is dead.
It's dead, yes.
Yes, faith is actionable faith.
Yeah.
So somehow I did that, and by the end of that term, we closed with 59 learners.
Wow, interesting.
We had broken the 40 ceiling, the 50
Finally
ceiling.
had come out of
we were getting to the 60. The end of that year, we closed it with almost around 70 learners.
Interesting.
Then I realized that this thing can work.
Interesting. And it's very interesting that you started off with 9 students in the first year and what's it called, persevered all through the initial years whereby you couldn't break the 40 mark.
Yes.
And then eventually now if someone is to come and visit Brookhill Academy, you have hundreds of students.
Yeah.
What would you say has been the secret for you to scale up over the years?
Now, initially when I started the school, it was a business just like any other. But knowledge is good. When you grow, then you get to learn. A business is not just business of making money. In fact, many people get into school business with the hope of getting money very fast. They get disappointed. And anybody who wants to get into school business to get money very fast, you'll be terribly disappointed. There is a principle in life. Whatever it is that you put in, whether you earn from it right now or not, someday
It will come back.
it will come back. And so I decided that school is not just any other business. It's about lives. And I have to add value to lives. Already have the advantage that I have passion for children development. So I started learning more. I go to people who have operated successful schools. I get ideas from them. I read books. What can I do to operate a successful business? The staff who are there have to be fair to them. Look for a way of motivating them financially and in any other way. And to make sure that there is as low staff turnover as possible. So these are some of the principles that I started applying when we were still very few, but which are still working to date. Yeah, the staff turnover is at the lowest. You only leave when it is necessary. Of course, I have to qualify that. There's some people who really will push you, but I would like to be as humane as possible. And give people a chance. And my recruitment process is very rigorous. I look at quite a number of things. Passion is bottom line. So I started putting systems in place. I was imagining this is a school of 1,000 learners, yet it is a school of less than 100 learners. And I said, these are the systems that I'm going to operate. Of course, there are other aspects of now managing cash flow and all that. Many people start business. You put your hand into every income that comes. So I separated my personal finances from the school finances. But for many years, including as late as this year, I've still been putting my personal money into the business for it to grow.
To the next level.
But by God's grace, it's been growing very well. There's reward that I'm seeing, not necessarily monetary. But when I see learners who are coming, children who come to school, they are reporting, they are crying. For a short time, they have grown. We make them prefects. They are responsible for this, and that. And then after some time, they are through with school. They are going to secondary school. Oh, it feels good that I've been able to add value. Yes.
And just another question before we just come to the end of the show is that you have gone through the phase of you going through abject poverty, and then now you are at a phase whereby you're experiencing success out of everything that you've learned. What would you say that has been the biggest lesson, or rather maybe what a success taught you?
Success has taught me quite a number of things. Practically, I would say that many people, including myself, we've been running after success. But success doesn't come by us running after it. Success I think, has a way of locating us when we grow. We build capacity, and we learn to add value, to be humble every time, to make a difference in the lives of people. And then success has a way of coming to us. These are some of the practical things I've learned. I would not want to share theoretical lessons that I've learned from books, but I would want to share practically what I've been able to discover myself. So success is a wonderful thing. It's not a destination. It's a journey. And of course, I would say success is setting out to do something with conviction, follow it up with the requisite action, with perseverance, and then prevailing. There's nothing as wonderful as that. So that is what perhaps I would say in brief about success. Yes.
And just the final question: where do you see Brookhill probably the next coming years? What's your vision? What do you envision going ahead for Brookhill Academy? Before
we started Brookhill, I had a blueprint. Where Brookhill has come, by God's grace, it has followed the blueprint that I had from Brookhill at the beginning, and as I've continued modifying it. And so even the structures, the facilities that we had, I sketched them many years ago. Eventually I got architects to design, and engineers to design, and then contractors to build. And my desire for Brookhill Academy, where it is right now located, is for us to have various campuses. We have a kindergarten campus, which is not built up. We are renting, but we have a primary campus. We have planned in the blueprint to have a kindergarten campus, fully fledged. We have the primary campus, and then also to have both junior and senior secondary school campus. In our primary campus, we are proceeding because of CBC. We have junior secondary school with us. So that is the plan for Brookhill Academy, for us to have our own kindergarten campus, fully fledged with everything, a one-stop shop. A parent will not come, make inquiry without enrolling their child. And of course, primary campus is there, but we will want to expand, and then we also want to have a junior and senior secondary school campus. But we're also working on getting a large piece of land, because where we are located right now, it's fairly squeezed, but that's the beginning. So we are working to get at least maybe 5 acres, 6 acres within Nairobi. Once we have been able to complete the blueprint for Nairobi, my desire, by the time I'm retiring, at least to replicate it in 5 counties. It's already documented, it's written down. It is here. It was written more than 10 years ago. Yes, maybe to go to, not maybe, my plan is Nakuru, Mombasa, Kisumu, Eldoret. So that has been quite an interesting episode with Mr. Coleman Otage, the founder of Brookhill Academy, based in Tasia, Nairobi. And it's quite an interesting conversation, just seeing how a journey and how God can actually work in someone's life, from just abject poverty to now running one of the biggest schools that's performing quite well in Nairobi. My name is Ian Dennis. This has been the Late Night Business, and as always, I'm signing off from the Capital Club, the place you need to be as an entrepreneur across any particular part of the world, because being a member of the Capital Club, you can have access to all these particular amenities regardless of whatever city that you're in. Until next time, see you right here on the Late Night Business.